Good morning, y'all. Fuzzy Biker here in the Fuzzy Biker Garage. Check it out. We got all kinds of goodies in here. A couple new motorcycles. Thought I'd show you all around that. This is going to be kind of an oddball video, and it's going to be about this motorcycle in particular. But before we go there, check this out. We just added this to the shop. This is a 250 1965, 1966. It's a Royal Enfield Continental GT 250. Absolutely beautiful machine. Fiberglass tank. I rode one of these a while back. Not this one, but a sister to this one. It's got bacon slicers on the front. Kickstart only. Absolutely fabulous thing. We'll get that thing running. We'll take it out for a ride pretty quick. Now right behind it, over here, with the spare seat sitting on top of it, is a Royal Enfield Continental GT 535. That's the stock seat. This is another seat, or one of these is the stock, the other is the other. But check that out, not just a beautiful thing, and we'll take that for a ride too. I've ridden those before. That's actually a very nice riding motorcycle. Of course, there's my Harley Davidson. I got this out the other day. You can always tell when I get my Harley out. How can you tell that, Fuzzy? See the oil? See the oil? It doesn't leak oil, but it spits it. How's that sound, huh? How does that sound? Okay, back to this motorcycle here. So I do these videos. I've been doing it for about 5 years. I do it as a hobby. I do this instead of drinking beer, or smoking cigarettes, or watching TV or playing golf. I do this. I make videos about motorcycles, and I've been very fortunate. Royal Enfield. Actually, let's step it back. Baxter Cycle. From the first day I went in there to talk to them about doing this, they were right behind me on it. Supported me 100%, and I just absolutely appreciate that. They let me ride their motorcycles. They after a while they even let me ride their classic motorcycles, and that's my favorite part, riding the classics, and then of course the Royal Enfields, and I really appreciate that. Now this motorcycle, when it was, hey, they're going to come out, Royal Enfield let us fly to Utah. Gave us, be here at 8:30 on the day of the release. The day of the release, which I think was the 23rd of August. They said, be here at 8:30. That's the official release date and time. Be here and you can have one. And by have one, you can take this one for a ride. We're supposed to have them for 3 days. So we got there and we took this one and the black one. And I immediately just fell in love with this one. I had pre-ordered myself a black one, but so I saw this one, they had this one and the other one, and I know it's filthy, but my bikes are always filthy. And I went ahead and got this one. I took this one, and within by mid-morning, I'd sent him a text and said, I'm not giving it back, I'm going to keep it. And everybody thought I was joking, but I wasn't. Now I've got about 9,800 miles on it. That was a little over 5 weeks ago. I've slowed down on my bike riding in the last few days because I'm an old man. I don't know why. But I got big plans. I was supposed to leave today on a big trip, but that got postponed till tomorrow. So stay tuned, right? Anyway, so we got this bike. We brought it to Iowa. In 49 hours, we put 1,200, 1,300 miles, 1,400. I can't remember how many. Bunch of miles on it, and never gave it back. And finally, one day I got called in the office there at the old Baxter, and they said, "Hey, we got the paperwork for the bike." That was only about a week ago, and you can get it in your name now if you want. How much owe you? One of you guys out there, and I'm not sure who it was, maybe I do know, but I'm not supposed to tell, something like that, paid for it, and I am absolutely blown away by that. I really appreciate it, because I'm not a wealthy man. I'm just an old, I worked a contractor job. I never made much money in my life, so that means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. So I'm getting all emotional. How's that? Anyway, so that is now the official Fuzzy Biker motorcycle. I got my own license plate on there, and it's just been a heck of a deal, and I really appreciate it. Well, let's go down the list here of my things to talk about. I got a YouTube channel, and some of you probably think, well, that's how I pay for all this. No, YouTube would barely cover my fuel. Motorcycles are one of those categories on YouTube that just don't pay a lot of money. If I did camping videos, and had the same amount of subscribers and views, I'd make about 4 times the money. So it's it's a genre in YouTube that has there's about 3% of Americans that actually care about motorcycles. And so we're a very small part of the market, you know. So, you know, YouTube pays very little. And now let's throw something up on top of that. YouTube has been after me for years. They send me these notices all the time. Hey, you're missing out on free money. And, you know, I'm supposed to put a donate money button on there, or they have these ways of raising funds. It's kind of like Patreon, and of course Patreon also. You know, and I've avoided all those. And why have I avoided that? And the reason I've avoided that is I don't think y'all, you know, this is all supposed to be fun and games, and it is. And I don't really, you know, I didn't really want anybody to have to pay for my fun and games. I just wanted to share it all with y'all. So that's why I'm out there doing that. How about sponsors? Well, I've been contacted by a bunch of people over the years, and even recently, especially recently, and I've always turned it down because I wanted the content, you know, like, again, this is a hobby, this is a fun thing, and I wanted the content to be my content, not somebody else's idea of what I should be publishing. I didn't want to give anybody control over what I put up or how I do it. And, you know, I wanted to go out and, you know, some old guy on a bike, a very nice bike. I love that bike. And, you know, I wanted to be able to control what I was doing out there. I already talked about RE. RE has been, I know a lot of the people at Royal Enfield, they don't send me fuel cards or, you know, envelopes full of $100 bills or anything like that. They've been very polite and friendly and willing to work with us on things like this motorcycle. And I really appreciate working with them. They've been fabulous. They really have just been great. And then to go on beyond that to Baxter Cycle, like I said earlier, Baxter Cycle is really the start of all this. If they wouldn't have been willing to, you know, we're so friendly in the beginning and now. This, you know, they didn't know me from anybody. And that's one thing I got to say about Baxter's. I've been working with them, you know, doing this with them for several years, and they seem to treat everybody very well. And that's one of the key things about that cycle shop, and that's why I support them so wholeheartedly. And I think you should too. If you want a good motorcycle shop, you got to support it. And, so looking at my list here, I've got, so why do I do this? What does it cost? Well, I do it because I'm a motorcycle fanatic. When I was 4, 5, 6 years old, something like that, we had an old minister, and every Sunday he'd take me for a motorcycle ride, beg him for a motorcycle ride. His name was Ellie Bersero, and he was a character. He was a oversized personality. You know, he was loud. Most people probably think he was obnoxious. He liked to smoke and drink and do other things, and one of the things he liked to do was ride motorcycles fast. And this is back in the 60s and early 60s, and he, you know, we were riding a little, I think it was a Yamaha, I can't really tell, it was either Yamaha or Suzuki, little tiny two-stroker. I remember, you know, how do you know how much oil to put in, you know, blah, 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 blah. And he got the passion started. By the time I was 9, my dad bought a motorcycle, I hot wired it so I could ride it. First 2 motorcycles I ever rode I had to hot wire, and, you know, lots of fun. There's something funny about that is dear old dad, he died a year ago, but I don't know, 10 or 20 years ago, he said to me one day, we were canoeing, and he was in the front of the boat, and he says, I bet you thought I never, just out of the blue, I bet you thought I never knew you were riding my motorcycle. And I didn't say anything, and he says, who do you think always made sure there was gas in it? Well, that's a good point, right? When you're 9 years old, you don't think about those things. Anyway, so I've been hooked on bikes since I was young, and I've had many, many, many over the years. You know, this Harley, that Enfield over there, this, dozens of others, dozens and dozens of other bikes. And it's just been kind of a passion. And when I retired, I wanted to do a lot of bike riding, and that's kind of where we're at right now. I am retired, and I plan on doing a lot of bike riding. You know, 30, 40, 50,000 a year isn't enough, so let's do more. How do I pay for it? Well, I barely pay for it. How's that? I barely get by with it, but it's what little money I got, I put into it, and I really enjoy it. It's been a lot of fun. And you know, you got to do something, right? I could be buying beer or cigarettes or pizza, or I could be riding a motorcycle. So what would you do? I think I want to ride a motorcycle. I have not asked for help from the public, and the reason I haven't is, again, this is all fun. This is entertainment for me, and I appreciate, you know, the comments from y'all. I appreciate, you know, when y'all buy those T-shirts that we got, and you know, I appreciate it when I meet y'all. You know, some of y'all have come to Baxter Cycle or invited me out to where y'all are at, and I just really appreciate that. You know, I went to Alabama just a week or so ago, and Ed just absolutely Showed me an absolutely beautiful state, beautiful time, absolutely amazing place. You know, things like that. You know, and, Mark up in Colorado, and just other people. You know, it's just been a lot of fun, and that's why I do it. That's why I do it. Future plans. Um, so that's an interesting thing. I want to go to Alaska next year, and I've got the bike. That's the bike we're going to take right there, I believe. And I've been working on the details. I'll work on that all spring. My hope is mid-May to mid-June we'll leave, and if everything works. And that's kind of where I'm at. That. So immediate plans. I'd like to do the southern part of the United States. Winter's coming, so we got to do something. And I think again, that's the motorcycle to do it on. You know, and I keep pointing back to that. It's comfortable. It's fuel efficient. It's incredibly capable. It'll ride interstates. It'll go off road. And you know, we've proven that. We've done Colorado BDRs and all kinds of things like that, back parts of Wyoming, Utah, and then I've done, you know, I did a 1,000-mile interstate day on that thing. It just does it. I'd like to go to the Rocky Mountains of Canada. I'd like to go to the east end of Canada. There's some really, I can't think of the name of the island out there. They're really interesting, and I don't know how you get there. I suppose you take a ferry. There's some really interesting stuff out there in the world, and I'd like to see it. I'd like to go down to the southern United States. You know, I'd love to explore all that. The little bit that I've seen has just been amazing. I've been to all the states but 5, including Alaska. So there's 4 more continental United States I'd like to see. And anyway, so that's where we're going to go with that. All right, I'm going to tie this up. I want to thank y'all. I want to thank y'all. I want to thank you all. You've made it fun. You've made it interesting. I hope I can produce some content that y'all want to see. I just want to keep sharing this fun stuff, motorcycle riding. You know, we got to get off the couch. You know, if you're my age, you're at that time of life where it's easy to sit in a chair. It's easy to be told you can't do something. It's easy to be safe and secure. And the problem with that is it's not good for your health. So we got to do something. What are we going to do? We're going to ride that motorcycle. And we're going to go all over. We're going to have some fun, my friends. Now, if you're interested in a motorcycle like that, new or used Royal Enfield, Triumph, classic British bike of any type, need parts, accessories, thingamajigs, doodads, like to go camping, anything like that, get yourself over to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa, or go to baxtercycle.com. Make sure you tell those fine folks that Buzzy Biker, that's me, sent you. They do ship motorcycles. Hit like and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, hit like, subscribe, make a comment down below. And it's going to be a beautiful day. It's early morning right now. See, that's a glass door. It's all, the sun has not come up yet. It's going to be a beautiful day. Get yourselves out there and ride, my friends. Get yourself out there and ride. Wahoo! Yippee-yi-yay! Yippee-yi-yo! Down the road we go. Beautiful, beautiful machine.